Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel for your Chelsea versus Benfica Club World Cup preview for the round of 16 game in Charlotte. The kickoff time is 4 p.m. local time, 9 p.m. in the evening. For you guys in the UK, and sorry, you can do the maths wherever else you are in the world, but it's going to be a late one for the Europeans. Chelsea versus Benfica. This is a repeat of the 2013 Europa League final where Branislav Ivanovic scored that goal in injury time to win Chelsea yet another European trophy. It's also Benfica, the side that Chelsea played on the way to winning the Champions League in 2012 with that incredible moment from Raul Meireles. And I'm going to say now, I've got a feeling, right, we're going to say it at the start of this video, I think there's going to be a breakaway goal of some sort that will resemble that goal tomorrow. Just a little early, useless, based on nothing prediction, but that's what I'm saying is going to happen towards the end of the game when Benfica will be chasing a one-goal Chelsea lead, whether that's 1-0, 2-1. Let's take a little quick look before we go into the Chelsea starting 11. Let's take a look at our opposition, because now that we are into the last 16, every game that we play from now is going to get harder and harder and harder. The group stage for Chelsea was an eye-opener in a sense because it showed you the variance in the tournament when you start off against Los Angeles FC, who weren't the most difficult opposition. Flamengo, the Brazilian teams would just have so much energy, and I believe they all qualified for the round of 16 at minimum, which is fantastic from them. And then Tunis, in the last game, 3-0 win, but it was probably one of the most underwhelming 3-0 wins you'll see. And that isn't me just playing anything down and being negative. It wasn't the most amazing Chelsea performance, but we beat what was put in front of us. Whereas this is going to be a different story against Benfica. I was going to say Boca Juniors then. But this is their game against Boca Juniors. You can see it finished 2-2, including Angel Di Maria, who is 37 years old, but he's still killing it for Benfica right now. And also Nicolas Otamendi, another 37-year-old player. But you can see in this game, Benfica lined up in the opening match of the tournament with a 4-3-3 formation. Trubin is a player that had a really good game against Bayern Munich. He is the goalkeeper. Silva, who's a young centre-back, who's also a very, very solid player. If I just show you here his heat map in that game and the stats from that draw against Boca Juniors. 2 out of 2 ground duels, 5 out of 7 aerials won, 89% accurate passes. This is a serious player. Benfica have got some really good technical players in this team, as well as a mixture of youth and also experience. If we just bring this back over again and show you guys close up, you can see it's a very young back line, apart from Nicolas Otamendi, who's the captain and that leadership figure for Benfica in the back. You've got Di Maria, Pavlidis, who is a goal scorer, a genuine goal scoring threat up front. And then players like Renato Sanchez, who's a bit of a journeyman at this point, but he's found his home here in Benfica. If we take a look also at this against Bayern Munich, you can see tactical versatility for Benfica. They went with a 4-2-3-1. And if we look at the average formations, this tells you what Benfica are up against Bayern Munich. They had to defend. You can see the majority of players, apart from Pavlidis and Di Maria, spent the majority of the game inside their own half. So they've got players that are willing to do the dirty work defensively, and then they've got players that can hurt Chelsea going forward. But the 1-0 win, you guys can see this in terms of how the game actually went. Benfica scored that goal, and then throughout the entirety of the match, basically, they were under the cosh, under pressure from Bayern Munich. And I honestly think on any other day, Bayern Munich would have won this game. They had so many chances. If you look here at the big chances, Bayern Munich had 4 big chances to Benfica's 1, and they won this game with 27% possession. So, based on what we saw last season from Chelsea, you guys know we struggle against teams that aren't that fussed about having the ball. And it is a bit of a different story here. 61% of it against Boca Juniors, but Bayern Munich, you know, are a side that are always going to be in control of the ball. So is this actually a good matchup for Chelsea? I don't know. Benfica, as we have seen in both that Boca Juniors game and that match against Bayern, they're able to do things very differently. In the game against Boca, they created 2 big chances to Boca Juniors 1, And to win that group, Auckland City, I mean, fair play to them for getting a flipping draw against Boca Juniors in the final game. But to win this group, the way that they did is very impressive indeed. Only 2 goals conceded against an aggressive Boca Juniors side and against a fluid attacking Bayern Munich team. So, Chelsea. Lots of people will start paying attention to this tournament now it's at the knockout phases. I've seen a lot of people saying they don't care about these games. Look, for me, Chelsea becoming world champions in the first Club World Cup that was expanded to 32 teams. This isn't just like winning the Champions League, going straight to the Club World Cup in December, winning 1 or 2 matches and then being crowned champions. This is a full 32 team like the Champions League used to be before the new format, and doing it all in the space of a month. Now, I know that there's been some relatively easy teams, some relatively easy games, but this now is where it gets serious. If Chelsea beat Benfica, we go back to Philadelphia to play Palmeiras, Estaval's team, or Botafogo, a team that have been very impressive in this competition. So, I really want us to go out there and win this. We're going to fly first thing tomorrow morning, and then we're flying back to Florida tomorrow night. But honestly, I'm a little bit nervous about Benfica. They've got that mixture of experience. They've got youthful players in there. And this is going to mean something to them. Benfica have wanted to get one over on Chelsea for a while. We saw how difficult it was negotiation-wise with Enzo Fernandez after Chelsea won that Europa League final, knocked them out the Champions League in 2012. There's been a story here with Benfica for years, and I think this is going to be a really, really tricky game. However, we move over to the lineup graphic, and we have got to now pick my Chelsea team that I think is going to beat Benfica. And you kind of already get an idea what my score prediction is. But let's move into the goalkeeper. Big Robert Sanchez is in goal. And look, this is a time now for these players. We're seeing all the news. If you watch the 2 news videos that we posted yesterday, you guys will know that at this point in time, it's an interesting one with the transfer window. We don't know how many players are coming in. We're being told that Chelsea need to sell players to buy players, which having spent 1.6 billion quid wouldn't be too much of a surprise, to be quite honest. So for players like Rob Sanchez, there's a lot of noise about goalkeepers. I've said it, and I will say it again. I still don't think Sanchez is at the level to win us a Premier League. But he's in goal for this tournament, and as much as I wanted to see Penders, I think that ship has sailed. This is a big game, and Sanchez is clearly Maresca's number 1. Let's move now into this Chelsea back 4. Reece James, Tosin, Levi Colwill, and Marc Cucurella. I think Tosin has actually put himself into the starting 11 for me now. I was thinking about, should I pick Trevor Chalobah? But the threat that Tosin brings from an attacking point of view, particularly against that Benfica side, they've got Silva in there who wins everything in the air. Otamendi, also an incredibly physical defender. If Chelsea are getting set pieces, we need to try and be creating opportunities to score from those set pieces. Enzo Fernandez put in that wonderful free kick. Brilliant header from Tosin to beat the Tunis keeper to open the scoring the other night, which changed the whole trajectory of the game. Levi Colwill has got to be in there at left centre-back for me. Marc Cucurella. This is a really big game for Cucurella, because if we take a look again at this Benfica right side of the pitch, this is against Boca Juniors, but then since then we have seen such big improvements from Benfica down that right side, because Angel Di Maria is one of the best technical players in world football for the last over a decade. Yes, he's only 37, but the way that I've seen Benfica use these wide areas, Schelderup as well, who scored that goal against Bayern Munich, also very dangerous. So Reece is going to have to be absolutely on it there. But I think for me, this is the best back 4 that we've got right now. And look, we're in the knockout phases. It's time to take this seriously. You win this game, you're in a quarter-final against a Brazilian opponent that, yes, they've been difficult to beat, but Chelsea should be beating Palmeiras or Botafogo. You then go to a semi-final. Manchester City would probably be the team that we would face there. And we know how to play against Man City. Yes, we've bloody struggled and they do beat us almost every flipping time right now. But we've got to back ourselves, surely, to push on and try and win this tournament. So, the midfield, for me, as much as there is so many options here, when it comes to picking the best Chelsea 11 right now, These are the two that you pick. Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez. If you want to hear more of my thoughts about what I think regarding the Andre Santos situation, if you want to call it that, there's a lot of PR going out right now. Check out the previous video on GBFC. And I say within that video, Caicedo, we knew he was world class after just a couple of games. We could see that consistency coming through. And Enzo Fernandez has become the £100 million player that it took him a bit of time to settle in. And quite often it does when you're coming from the Portuguese league, you join Chelsea, you've got that price tag, you're learning English, you're getting to know London, Cobham, the rest of your teammates. Of course it was going to take some time. But right now, we are seeing Enzo Fernandez delivering for Chelsea. And for me, he's absolutely undroppable at this moment in time. So, let's move now into my Chelsea front four. We've got some explaining to do here. I've got Noni on the right, Neto on the left. I think defensive work rate is going to be important here in this game. So I think Neto, I was thinking to start Neto on the right because he can get back and help Reece. But I think this is a big game for Noni Madueke here because it could actually be the last game that we play before Esteval comes. And Esteval is also going to be able to play, I believe, for Palmeiras. Whether or not he'll actually play, I wouldn't pick him if I was a Palmeiras manager. But I think for Noni, this is a huge game because he's got an opportunity here in a must-win match, a knockout game of football, to show what he can do again on that right side before Esteval joins the club. So for me, Pedro Neto's been our best player at this tournament so far, in my opinion. Scored in 2 of the 3 matches. Cole Palmer, we've not seen him anywhere near his best as of right now. And Liam Delap leading the line. Liam Delap has impressed me massively so far. The goal was absolutely excellent the other night. People say, the keeper didn't really go for it. Whatever. Do you know what I mean? The fact that he actually took that ball down, drove through the 2 defenders, it was the movement for me, not necessarily the finish. The finish is tucked in perfectly. He knows that the keeper's going to be rooted to the ground. He saw that when Tosin scored the header just 3 minutes prior. So Liam Delap is very exciting for me right now going through the middle. But it's these wingers. There's so much happening right now with Jamie Gittins. I believe that we might even know about it on the match day. Or today, when you guys are watching this video, Gittins is likely to now be joining Chelsea. It's basically done. So for Madueke and Pedro Neto, now is the time to play. Because this could be their last games as Chelsea players before 2 new wingers come through the door. I know that a lot of people are saying, well, maybe Tyreek George plays in this one. I think Tyreek George off the bench. I think it's going to be physical. I think Benfica are going to give it to us a little bit. They've got big midfielders in there as well that have got big engines on them and like to go in for tackles and stuff. So I don't want to say Tyreek George to start. But this is my Chelsea starting 11. I'm actually really nervous as I'm making this preview because Benfica do worry me a little bit. They really do. But let's do a score prediction here. I'm going to say Chelsea will beat Benfica by 3-1. I think we'll be 2-1 up. I think it is going to be incredibly nervy. And Pedro Neto is going to score the same goal that Raul Morelos scored against Benfica in 2012. And it's going to set Chelsea up for the rest of the Club World Cup. I know that that is a ridiculous prediction. And to be fair, I don't care if it's wrong. Just want us to flip and win this. Go to the quarterfinals. And look, I know it might be difficult to follow this because of all the times of the games. And people might not care about the Club World Cup. But I'm here going to all these matches. And I tell you what, the amount of love that this tournament is actually getting on the ground is incredible. And I really want to go all the way and win this tournament. As much as, it might set us back for pre-season. Imagine winning another trophy and being the best team in the world. I know you'll be like, but we're not actually... Give over, man. Let's just flipping go out there tomorrow and beat Benfica. 6 things we learned will be uploaded straight after the game or as quickly as possible. Trust me, if you knew how difficult it was with laptops and bags and all of that stuff, you'd understand why some of the videos have been out a lot later than before. But you also get the match vlogs too, which are putting a lot of effort into those. So stay tuned for that video as well. Thank you guys for watching this one. Let me know your score predictions for Chelsea, Benfica in the comments down below. And obviously we've got Palmeiras, Botafogo before that. So we're going to have coverage from that game in the vlog as well. So stay tuned. Now's the time to subscribe to GBFC. Big rest of the summer ahead. Come on, you Blues.